Good morning. Good morning. Chime in. Yo, check in. If you're here, let me know you're here. Holla if you hear me. Good morning, everybody. Good morning on this version of Facebook Live. I'm your host, Donovan Derry. Somebody be like, wait a minute, Donovan, aren't you supposed to be in China somewhere? Hey, if you missed my post yesterday, I shared what happened. So if you missed it yesterday, definitely go check it out from yesterday. Yes, I was supposed to be in China, but we had a little bit of a little miscue, right? Get to the counter like, hey, you got your visa? No. Got my passport, got my ID. I got a bag full of cones and some ladders and some, presentation and got my everything ready, but I ain't got what I guess I need. But if you missed my video yesterday at the airport, after I found out that I wasn't able to go, definitely check that out. It was definitely a powerful life lesson in it that I learned personally that I hope that it's encouraging to you as well. But listen, so we're not wasting much time today. I was about to leave the house to go work out, and I said, you know what? Just something was laid on my heart today, and I wanted to connect with someone today. Someone who may be in a relationship, or somebody who's getting out of a relationship, someone who has been in a relationship, and they're just realizing, you know what? We've all been through relationships, right? We all been through tough moments. We all been through relationships that broke up. Matter of fact, we're probably not in the same relationship we was in when we first started having relationships. And so here we are now with an opportunity to realize, okay, well, how do you build some of these strong relationships? How do you build relationships that you can remove the fear of infidelity, the staleness, the loss, the fear of, break up, all those things, because nobody gets in a relationship with the ideal that things was going to go sour or things were going to separate. So again, as I said, we can always learn from our life lessons. And during this time, again, I can't speak for everybody. Everybody's relationship is different. But I believe that I went through some different things, and I want to share some lessons. I want to share some key things that I have learned, and I'm still learning, that I think are the key components, okay? And I'm not going to be able to do it all today, but I'm just going to give some quick little things that I think are some of the key components to building a dynamic relationship where you can remove the fear of separation, infidelity, and breakup, and all those things. And if you do that, remember, control what you can control. You put yourself in a better position to have the relationship of your dreams. And so again, as I'm doing this, you guys, if I say something that you agree with, definitely let me hear it, all right? If I say something on here that you disagree with, let me hear it as well, because again, we're all in this thing together. This is a community, not of one expert. We're all experts. That means we all have real life experiences that we go through, and we can learn from each other. I'm just going to be here as a moderator and just kind of share some thoughts from my perspective and some of those things that I think that can be helpful as we move forward. So what I want to share today, I'm going to share basically 5 things, just 5 quick, I call them like the ABCs of relationship. This is actually one of the books I'm working on, but this is a quick little snippet of it. It's basically the 5 A's of relationship, of successful and dynamic relationships, right? So let's start back. Let's start why people get into relationships. Why people get into relationships? Well, they get into relationships because, again, as human beings, a natural connection with us on this earth and our living existence is the fact for us to relate to individuals and relate to things. We have emotions. The emotions, a lot of times people don't understand what they're for. Our emotions are here so we can properly connect and experience our life here on this earth. And so therefore we have all types of emotions. We have fear, we have love, we have joy, we have, anger, we have happiness, excitement. We have all these emotions. All of them are natural. They're natural to us. But understanding that when we have those individual emotions and we come together, okay, it's kind of like yin and yang, right? If you have one person who's on one side of the spectrum, another person on another side of the spectrum, how in the world can they get along? Okay, and so in relationships, it's a very natural occurrence for us to have conflict. It's a very natural occurrence for you to have moments where you really draw together, where you find so much synergy, and it feels like, man, wait a minute, how it's like my soulmate. And so I know we all have those desires to have those, and so I'm going to share a couple things today that hopefully help you draw closer to that yin and yang, right? Help you draw closer to that dynamic relationship that you're seeking. So we talk about, why do people get in relationships? Okay, and what is the key to relationships? Well, here's some of the things that I've learned, and I'm only going to share from my experience, right? And I want you to chime in with yours as well. Here's one of the issues that I realized as to why some of my relationships did not work out. Let's start there. And one of the reasons my relationships did not work out was because I had to realize, and I learned this later on, that there's different components to relationships. There's different components to, to man and woman coming together and, having that compatibility. And I realized the mistake that I was making, and here's what it was. I realized that when I was meeting someone, that I would go from companionship. Well, what is companionship? That is the desire to have company, the desire to share in life and experience with someone. I want company when I go get something to eat. I want company when I go to the movies. I want company when I go to a show. I want company when I'm living through life and I have a good day or I have a bad day. I want company. I want somebody to share that with. I want somebody that can understand, that I can relate to, that I can talk to. Somebody that can basically cheer me along or be there with me when I'm going through some tough spots. Whatever it may be, I just want some company. So one of the very basic components of the relationship is the companionship. And so you have companionship, but then you have the next phase, which is friendship. Friendship is something because friendship is key, and most people don't understand it. Most people don't do it. And I myself, I did not really understand it as much. And so what happened was friendship is all built around establishing one another's and understanding one another's goals, their dreams. And friendship is all about being that person, being that support that, number one, listens and discovers what's the other person's dream and desire, what's the other person's goals, what is it that the other person desires to accomplish, and being that support person, that launch pad, not the lid, right? Being that launch pad that helps that person try to fulfill their dream. So in friendship, it's not about you. Friendship is about listening to that person, discovering, helping them discover what is it that they want to do, and being that friend, that one that will tell them the truth, right? Somebody that will be there, somebody that will research things, look for things, reach out to contacts, everything to help the other person, okay? Help the other person establish their goals, establish their dreams, and come closer to what they really desire. So here we go again. We got companionship. That is a very casual way of relating to people, having company with people in your life. So you're just not all by yourself. The next one, you go from companionship then to friendship. Friendship, as I said, has everything to do with me establishing and me knowing what is the desire of your heart that you want to accomplish, okay? And how can I help you in that way? And then after you come from companionship, then you go to friendship, then you go to relationship. Now here's the power of relationship, and here's why we can overuse and misuse this word so many times. Because relationship has everything to do with its root word, relate. What are you relating to? What are you coming together for to relate to do together now? You see, in friendship, you don't have to be doing the same thing. See, I can have my foundation, I can do sports camps, I can do presentations, and my wife does not have to, you know what I'm saying? She does not have to relate to me in that. Okay? She does not have to relate to me because I can do those individually. You see, friendship phase, she's helping me do that. She's helping me achieve my goals. She doesn't have to have any stake in it. She's just helping me make sure I'm successful in that friendship. But then when you get to relationship, now you determine, what do we, coming together, what do we want to do together? What is it that we feel passionate about? And now we want to be equal partners, okay? We want to be equal partners in bringing that to pass. Okay, and so when you think about relationship, you say, okay, now, well, how about building a generation of people? Okay, well, we can come together and we can relate now in a relationship to have children. Well, what about as a couple doing something in business? Okay, now we're building a relationship. That means we are of a single mind focus, right? Not two individuals. That was friendship. But now in relationship, we're coming together and merging together. And now we're building things together. So here's where I realized I was making a mistake. And I didn't realize until later. I realized that I was jumping from companionship to relationship. And what happens when you jump from companionship to relationship and you start doing the things that you're supposed to do in a relationship, okay? What, having intimacy, having sex, doing all this stuff, okay? Really bringing you in the house and having mixed bank account, all this stuff, okay? Things that you desire to have ultimately, okay? If you do it too early and you didn't practice the friendship part, then what that means is that that person has not been given the opportunity to support you, okay, for the individual that you are first, and then the unity of the togetherness of who you are together. And so when most people jump from companionship to relationship, they think, hey, you're supposed to be on my side. Hey, what is it that I feel like I'm going forward and I feel like you're being pulled? I'm pushing forward this way and you're pulling back that way. And you're trying to relate to someone, but you have not built the premise or had enough time in with them being your friend, with them practicing. They got to practice that. They got to practice knowing how to support you, how to encourage you, how to have an undivided attention towards what you want for you, without it feeling like what you go after says it's pulling away from them, right? And so understand, I realize that companionship, friendship, relationship. And so when we get into this part now, where we're going to talk about basically 5 simple A's, right, of dynamic relationships. Now I wanted to give you some context to understand, and to ask yourself, am I in a companionship phase with somebody? Okay. Did I go through the friendship phase with somebody? Am I in a relationship with somebody that I should really be in the friendship phase with right now? Or is it somebody that they haven't practiced friendship yet? They need to go back to companionship. I just need to, hey, I'll holler at you, I'll give you a holler later. You know what I'm saying? When I get through doing what I need to do, grinding, making sure I'm putting myself in the right position that I need to be in, so I can give myself as a gift to somebody versus a burden, or somebody having to support me so much, you know what I mean? And so I need you to ask yourself that. Or are you at the place where you're in a relationship where you're like, you know what, I went through that. I went through the time where we were just companions, and then I went through friendship, man, and I really feel like this person right here, they have the ability, they have the skills, they have the understanding, and they know how to come together. They know how to build me up. They know how to encourage me. They know how to help me discover who it is that I am and what it is I'm here to do. And guess what? I mean, that's a great person right there. And that person is basically there as the one that helps to feed the root of who I am, right? Always remember this. If you heard me before, I always say, think about your life as a tree. If 95% of the people here are here to take care, okay, to get the fruit of your tree, remember what you produce, okay, the services or provision or gifts or talents you have, then there's only 5% of the people in this world that's here to take care of the root of who you are. And those are the ones you got to be very, very strategic with. I think there's a lot of people right now that are part of the 95%, right? They're here for the fruit of who you are, okay? But you actually brought them into your life to take care of the root, and they're not ready for it. That's why you feel abused. That's why you feel neglected. That's why you feel used. Because they're here, you have them in the wrong position. So again, this is self-discovery for you. Remember, chime in. Do me a favor, go ahead and invite and share somebody on here, okay? And invite and share somebody on this page so that they can get what you're getting as well. So understanding, companionship, friendship, relationship, where are you at? Where are you at right now? What is the dynamic of your relationship right now? And so now we're going to talk about if you have got to that phase where you're into a relationship now, and you say, you know what, we have decided that we are coming together for a unified vision, a unified goal, okay, a mutual benefit, a mutual purpose, and now we want to move forward. And you say, okay, well, Donovan, what are some of the keys to doing that? What are some of the keys to allowing us to have that successful life? Hold on, let me move this out the sun here. There you go. Rotate. Let's see if that's better. All right, so they ain't no better as well. So here we go. So what is the key? What are some of the keys to that, right? So I'm going to give you 5 A's. 5 A's. So here's number one. If you want to have a dynamic relationship, it starts with the admiration. It starts with the admiration. And admiration at its core means respect. And respect at its core means to, if you look at the root word, okay, you take away re and you take away spect. Spect means to look, re means again. Okay, when you respect somebody, you are looking at them again. You're looking at them through new eyes. You have a new sense of value for who they are. You have an identity. You have a way in which you look at them, that you perceive them, that is something about them that causes you to keep looking at them again. And so in order for there to be respect in any relationship, a person has to, number one, have respect in themselves. You see, I can't give you what I don't have. And that's the issue that a lot of people have. They're trying to give something that they don't have. And so in order for a relationship to be dynamic, you have to have respect in that relationship. Well, here's where respect is basically tied to. And here's where respect is given. You see, as a man, one of our biggest things that we need, okay, and I can only talk about it from a man's standpoint, right? One of the biggest things we need is respect. But respect has everything to do, for every man, with significance. See, a man wants to feel significant. A man wants to feel like he had value. He wants to feel like he's needed, okay, to fulfill a specific role and purpose in his life and the lives of others. And so respect is the number one thing. And you know how men get respect? Because of their work. See, if you're a man and you're watching this and you're feeling like, man, you know what? I need more respect from my wife. I need respect from my significant other, whatever. It's all tied to your level of work. You see, the word work doesn't mean just everything that you do. The word work means to become. The word work means to manifest itself. The word work means to move from one thing to the other. You see, we were all created with the desire and with the identity for us to work, for us to work out the gifts. You think about it, if you go back into the Bible, when you go back to the history of mankind, you'll see and you'll notice that when God made man, one of the first things he did is after he made him, the second thing he did was he gave him something to do. He gave him assignment. He put him to work. So Adam felt his significance right away. He knew what he was supposed to do. But after God made man, and after God gave him what to do, he said, work the garden, tend the garden. The next thing he did, after he did all that, and Adam named everything, he did everything he needed to do. He went to work. He manifested. The next thing he did was then God put him to sleep, and he gave him a woman. And he gave him a woman, and he said, this is a woman who will be your helpmeet, who will be someone here to help meet your goal, meet your needs, to help you in what you're doing. But here's the issue. If a man is not working, if a man is not manifesting, if a man doesn't have a vision, if a man doesn't have the significance, if a man ain't working towards something to manifest himself in his community, in his life, in his family, then a woman may not have something that she can help him with. And so how many women out there right now are frustrated? You're frustrated because you're in a relationship with a man who never really established what his vision is. He don't even know what it is. So you're frustrated because now you're trying to help him in so many ways, and you feel like you're being his mom. You feel like you're having to nurture something that should already be in him instead of you being able to help him in certain areas that you need. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody feel like, okay, you're the woman in his life, but you feel like you're the mom because you have to dot the I's, cross the T's, and you almost have to encourage him so much because he hasn't already from the very beginning, he hasn't had respect in himself first yet. He hasn't developed the significance of his life, his vision. I made a promise to myself, okay, when I made a promise that when I got into a relationship, I said, you know what, when I get in relationships, I want to give my life to a woman as a gift. I want it to be a gift. I don't want it to be a burden. And a gift means that I'm coming to her with an ideal, I'm coming to her with a vision, and I'm not only coming to her with an ideal and a vision, but I'm coming to her with things already manifested. So now she can see within herself, she can see, oh, okay, this is where he needs support. This is how I can help him. You know what I mean? He may not need help in the finances in this area. He may not need help in the hard labor part of this part, but he may need help in just the encouragement. So now a woman knows exactly what she wants to do and how. Because the way we're made, think about this, when it all comes back to respect and significance. You see, we have a man. God made a man, but he also made a woman. And the greatest thing about a woman is that she is a wombed man, W-O-M-B. That means you are an incubator. That means that if somebody gives you something, you have the natural ability to develop it, to cultivate it. For example, if a man gives you a seed, right? You turn it into a baby. You incubate it and turn it into a baby. If a man gives you groceries, you can make it into a meal. If a man give you a house, boy, with your expertise and with your ideas and creativity, you turn that thing into a home. If a man give you problems, you know what I'm saying, you give him frustration. And so again, a lot of it has to do with what are we giving our women? What are we giving? And at the end of the day, for the men, we got to ask ourselves, have I developed myself in a way where I have a vision? I'm giving her something that she can help me with, something that she can support, something that she can do, so that way she can feel even more fulfilled. Now, am I saying that a woman can't do this without a man? No, I'm not saying nothing like that. But I'm saying in relationships, we all have a role and we all have a responsibility. And the responsibility is for both people to give 100% in their gifts, their talents, their abilities. And it all comes down to respect. You see, men, when you're respecting yourselves, your woman can then look at you again and see something beautiful, see something amazing, and then it spurs something in her that says, wait a minute, this is an amazing man, and I want to help him because together, relationship, we're going to do something amazing. And so is the same thing with the women. I say to you as well, you be very careful with what man you say I want to be in relationship with, because if that man does not have that vision, if that man doesn't have that understanding of where he wants to go, if that man has not been walking in it and walking in the direction of it, and you can see some fruit of it, I would say to you, you need to stay in the friendship phase. You need to stay where you can encourage him enough before you get into that phase where now you're relating. Because once you're relating, you're in it. And then if it's disproportionary or he's not where you need to be, then what can happen is now you can find yourself doing more than you need to be. And then what is the key thing? You get frustrated. So number one, the first A is admiration. If you want a relationship to be dynamic, there has to be a level of admiration. My question to you is your mate looking at your life and looking at you and they're able to admire you? Is there a level of admiration? Are you living outside of just your comfort zone? Are you pushing yourself? You see, I can't never do for you what you're supposed to do for yourself. A person can't do for you what you're supposed to do for yourself. So you have to be challenging yourself. You have to be pushing yourself. You have to be opening up. You have to be writing things down. You have to be going forward. You have to be living life to the fullest. And so when somebody does see you, they're like, wow, look at that dynamic life. Look at this person who is not taking life for granted. And so admiration is one of the key things, one of the first things. The next thing is appreciation. You see, everybody likes a thank you. If we want a relationship that's dynamic, we have to have a high level of appreciation. We have to be able to say to this person, and it starts from a place of humility. It starts from a place to say, you know what? You don't have to do this for me. You don't have to do this. Although it's a choice, and although we set out expectations and all those things, you're saying to yourself, you don't have to come home. You don't have to take care of me. You don't have to say good things. You don't have to, to encourage me. You don't have to do it. But because you do, I want to show appreciation. I want to show appreciation for the little things. You think about it. What human being doesn't want to be appreciated? Now, different people may desire certain levels of appreciation, but what person does not want appreciation? Appreciation for the little things. Because here's one of the secret things about appreciation. The more you appreciate somebody, it's a secret now. The more you show appreciation, the more they want to do more to get more appreciation. Here's one of the things about men. I can speak for a man. Ladies, you have your own way, right? But if you start to encourage a man in something and you keep encouraging him in that, we turn into like the little kid at heart. Okay, the more you start noticing stuff, you start saying thank you. Man, we just want it again. We want it again. We want it again and again. Now listen, this doesn't make us egotistical. It just makes us understandable. So when you understand it, wait a minute. If I encourage him in this area, if I'm showing appreciation for this, hey babe, I want to thank you for taking out trash. Hey babe, hey, I want to thank you, that I know that I can that I have a man who loves me, who's committed to me, who's going to be standing by me. Appreciation for the little things. For the little things. Okay? Because the more you do it, the more they're going to want to do it. Because they're going to be going at it. It's kind of like, I ain't going to call us dogs, man, but it's kind of like the dog that just want that treat again. We want that treat. We need that treat because it gives us a sense of purpose. It gives us a sense of, you know what, I get a chance to pour on this person and I get some validation. Okay, I get some validation. And here's what I say for me. I do a lot of events. I do a lot of events for the community. I do a lot of events for my foundation, with speaking, with training and all that stuff. And after my events, right, I send out a feedback form and it's kind of a survey and I allow people to share what did they like? And one of the questions I ask them, and everyone I do, I say, hey, if you would like to share any personal words to Donovan about how you felt about this event or what you think about this event and the impact it's made on you and your family, please do. Here's why I do that. I do that because the appreciation that I desire is just really validation that I'm right where I need to be. For example, when I create these events, I'm creating with a vision. And that vision is I want to be able to impact a person's life. I want to impact their family. I want them to see different. I want them to do better. I want them to have more and all those things. And so when a person shows appreciation or a person speaks or communicates how it impacted them, that appreciation lets me know that, Donovan, you're in line with what you feel you're called to do. You're in line with where you're supposed to go. And so that's why I do it there. And so in a relationship, when you have appreciation and you're sharing appreciation, it just tends to allow people to do things more and more and more. Okay. So another one. So what we have, admiration, then we have appreciation. The next one today, right now, I'm gonna give you one more, and then we're gonna do a part two. Okay, with the other one as well. So, but I'll leave you guys with this next one. This next one is attention. Okay, if you want a dynamic relationship, you have to give and you have to pay attention in your relationship. Attention just basically means, okay, that you are now noticing this other person. You're noticing different things about them. Okay, they don't have to show you everything, but you're noticing something about them. You're paying attention to this person. You're attending to this person's needs. See, in order for you to properly attend to someone, you got to know them. In order for you to properly attend to someone's needs or someone's requests or somebody's desires, you got to know them. You see, if you're in a relationship and you pass the companionship, the friendship, and now in your relationship phase, there should be a certain level of information you know about this person that you can attend to. Let's say that this person grew up in a bad home. Let's say this person grew up into a family where their mom and dad fought all the time. And you want to pay this person attention. Well, you know, based off of the things they share with you, those hot spots. You know those things that hurt them. You know the things that they heard, okay, that really just hurt them at the core. And when you pay a person attention, you're basically attending to them, not just in the present, but because of their past. You see, paying attention to someone and building a dynamic relationship by paying attention has everything to do with how much do you know about that person? How much have you studied that person? How much have you learned from that person? How many questions have you asked them to get the information and the answers to their soul, into their mind, into their very being? Because now when I pay attention to you, that means I'm now doing something for you and to you and with you. A lot of times that you never even asked me to do. You see, it's just like if, me and my wife, okay, if my wife told me that, when she was young, she loved going to, she loved going to shows, she loved going to plays. And she might have told me that, let's say, months ago. And she might have told me that, man, when I was young, I went to this certain beach and I had a great time. And let's say 4 years later, whatever, because I'm paying attention to her, I'm paying attention to what she said. I'm paying attention to the matters of her heart. Because I'm paying attention, that means that now I can create an environment or experience to bring that situation back up. You see, paying attention doesn't have everything to do with what's happening now. Paying attention has everything to do with what do you know of this person? And how can you attend to this person? How can you deal with this person? How can you love this person based off of what they already said, based off what they already went through? And so now, therefore, you're creating their present moment because of their past experiences, both good, okay, and the elimination of bad. And so listen, man, as you guys go through the day, man, like I said, I have 2 more things that I want to share with you guys, 2 more A's that I really, truly believe that, again, these are things that I personally went through, things that I'm continuously going through. I love seeing relationships flourish. I love seeing people flourish. I love people saying, man, one of the most stressful things in life is relationships. It is. Most stressful things, right? That just means that there's tension, okay? But guess what? How many of you guys know that diamonds are made under pressure? Because once you understand the secrets, you understand the keys, you're walking out the techniques, the methods, you're doing it, you're practicing it, then imagine how beautiful that feels when you basically put your product out there. You did everything you need to do, and now your relationship is flourishing. And so listen, you guys, as you guys go today, man, let me know. What are your thoughts about what I shared today? Add any of your thoughts of your own, okay? This is a community. This is a conversation. And so I'm going to share the next couple. The next one, is authenticity, okay? We're going to talk about authenticity. And the next one after that, we're going to talk about affection. Those are the other 2. Affection, okay? And what does that look like?